Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over Tesla stock, let's go over the market, let's talk about what is happening to Tesla stock, what we can expect moving forward and all of that good stuff. So if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit that like button. I might sound a little bit out of breath. I just recorded this whole video and my mic wasn't even on. Phenomenal. So we're doing it again. I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. And of course, if you enjoy my analysis, etc., I do have a membership section on YouTube. That link is down below. For just $3 a month, you get access to all my intraday thoughts, posts, updates, technical analysis on mainly Tesla stock, but sometimes other stocks as well. Or for $5 a month, you get access to all of that plus NVIDIA daily updates. As well. But jumping into a Tesla, closing the day up a very respectable 5.6%, closing almost at $340 per share, which compared to the market is obviously an outperformance. Now, this is obviously gapping up on the news over the weekend of how Elon pretty much came to, seems like they'll be coming to a situation with Trump and really just the administration in general overall that, should make it easier to get approval for pretty much robotaxis. So let's see how that plays out moving forward. But yeah, we're gapping up on that news. And the one thing you'll notice is the fact that, well, two things. We're above that 325 level. We're above the 1 hour market bias. And of course, we're back above this red trend line or slash channel. One thing you'll notice in the market, whether it's Tesla or other stocks, is gaps. So a gap up or a gap down are almost like a mini cheat code to bypass like a security, if you will. So in this case, right, there was a massive, resistance level, right? Obviously, we showed that on Friday's candle and my market bias, etc., around 325 roughly, right? Well, easiest way to get past it, you just gap right back above it, right? You gap above it and then problem solved, right? And that's kind of what we did here. We gapped right above it and problem solved, right? Nothing to worry about whatsoever. So the market likes to do this very often where if there's a massive support or massive resistance, a simple gap above or below, bam, no longer is it such. And now it flips to the opposite. So in this case, obviously this in theory should not be a support, but we'll see moving forward. Now, setting up a bit of a doji candle, showing a little bit of indecision here. Now I want to go over obviously the bull case. Well, there's two bull cases in my opinion that I'll go over, except one bull case is just really just a bull case. One of them is a bull case with some bearishness sprinkled in. So let's talk about the bull case with bearishness sprinkled in. So the first thing you want to notice is the fact that Tesla, despite it being pretty damn close to the highs that we set, not that long ago back over here, that was at $350. We're only $10 below that. The RSI is making a very obvious bearish divergence, or it's starting to look like it'll make a bearish divergence, which, again, very obvious. That's something a little bit concerning. Second thing is the fact that, again, assuming we can't break this high, technically there is still a chance that Tesla does actually retreat much lower, all the way down to about $285 to worst case about 265, we'll say, rough dollars per share, which is those two Fibonacci retracement levels that I've been talking about for quite some time. And also will come down to retest this past area that was, of course, like I said before, massive area of resistance that now should be a massive area of support. So those are the situations that can still impact this and essentially create this scenario, right? And in my opinion, what really triggers this is if we make a lower low and essentially break down below about $309 to $310. And I think that will trigger this sell-off and we will most likely head lower and, make our way to one of those two Fibonacci levels. But even if we do that, I still view Tesla as very bullish, as long as, of course, we hold that level, which I think we will. But, even if that were to happen, I still view it overall bullish. It's just short term. It's a little bit bearish because that will be a significant, move to the downside, right? For even from this close right now, that would be still like a 15% move to the downside. Not impossible. Not saying it'll happen for sure. But in my opinion, it's worth keeping that in mind because I do believe that is a very real possibility. Now, that's kind of like the bull case with some bearishness sprinkled in. Let's talk about pretty much just the bull case, right? What if we're actually like strong? Like what if Tesla's just really bullish and there are reasons to believe that? I'll share them really soon. And maybe we just don't do that. Maybe we actually pretty much go up from here more or less, right? What can that look like, right? Well, there is a case to be made for that, right? Number one, we're of course above the market bias, but I wouldn't put too much weight into it right now because Tesla is in a bit of a weird spot now where once it gets this kind of momentum train going, the market bias, it's not going to be as powerful or as effective in my opinion, but nonetheless, you can still watch for it because the main thing I want to see happen is this. So obviously when we had this move today, from the recent high over here to the recent low that we had on Friday, we moved up right into the Fibonacci retracement of about 618 to as high as the 786 rough level. And that's exactly where we rejected at. And that's what I told my members this morning and last night is where the bears, if they're going to attack, this is where they're going to attack. And that's exactly what happened. We came up right into it, they attacked, and we went down, decently lower from that spot, right? Tesla, don't forget, is very volatile. So just even this short alone, if you took it, it was like That's like a 5% drop. Like that's pretty crazy, right? So watch for that, right? Watch for that. That's pretty important stuff, right? It doesn't look like it's a big move, but that's a 5% move. It's just the stock is extremely volatile right now. So anyway, the thing I want to see right now happen on Tesla that would make me convinced that, you know what, maybe the next move higher is going to happen well before we even come down all the way to this, you know, general like 285, 270, whatever, that level. Like that, maybe that won't happen at all. The thing that'll tell me is two things. First, I don't want to lose this lower low down here, 310 roughly. Do not want to lose that at all. If that's ever lost, well, we're probably heading much lower. So watch for that. But I want to see a bull flag form. That's what I want to see on this kind of 1 hour time frame, right? I want to see a bull flag form. Like what we had just recently was we had a little bit of a descending sort of wedge, if you will, right? Nice little descending wedge, got tighter, and we broke out. Bam, and that's the move today. Congratulations. Now, I want to see if we're really going to get a move higher, if we're really going to go up to high 300s or maybe even breach into the 400s, I want to see Tesla start forming an actual bull flag. What that means is we had this massive, massive, massive move up, and now I want to start seeing it compress. I want to start seeing it set higher lows, lower highs, and essentially make this little bull flag and then ultimately break out. That's what I want to see moving forward. Now, whether or not we'll actually get that, well, nobody knows. This is kind of my projection. This is what I kind of want to roughly see happen moving forward for Tesla, right? If we get this, that's going to be really, really good. Because again, after you get massive moves like this, it's very common for any stock really to kind of chill, cool off, compress, and get ready for that next move higher. And that's what I want to see happening here for Tesla, right? An example of what could have been good for Lyft, let me go over to Lyft stock. Where the hell did I even put it? Right here, right? Is, you know, it was kind of, this is exactly what Lyft was doing roughly. You can see it's kind of doing the very same idea, right? Sort of making these kind of, you know, higher lows, lower highs. Unfortunately, it obviously didn't play out, right? Same thing can happen with Tesla. It doesn't mean it has to play out to the north side, but you can see in this case, as it was doing this, and this is roughly what I want to see Tesla do. Unfortunately, again, it just went to the south side. Naturally, of course, you'd want to go up, not down. But this is the compression roughly that I've been talking about, that I want to see Tesla start forming, honestly, over the course of this week. Now, the stock is very, very volatile, so it's going to be, you know, these moves will be pretty substantial, up or down, but that's kind of the idea behind it, right? And if we get that, I think Tesla, as long as it breaks this upper trend line before it breaks the bottom trend line, kind of well lifted, it should move higher. It should move higher, plain and simple. Let me go ahead and move back here and delete all these lines, right? That's kind of the general idea that I see happening for Tesla moving forward. So that's probably the main thing. Now, what really backs up this potential, you know, potential bullishness right here, right? Well, Tesla actually had a pretty shocking amount of calls come in. So obviously in the morning, a lot of calls, right? But the ones that really start to stand out to me were, for instance, this one here, 8.9 million, December 13th of this year, 360 strike, which is out of the money. And it's a 9 million above the ask. Not very far out, and it's out of the, what's it called? Out of the money. So very, very bullish. But that wasn't the only one. That's the thing that makes this crazy. It wasn't the only one. 4.1 million, 360 strike, also December 13th. Let's move on. 8.6 million, December 13th, 370 strike, 3.1 million, 370 strike, December 13th. 1.4 for June 20th, 2025, but whatever. Well, still good, but you know, whatever, not as good, right? But the ones I really care about are these December 13 ones. Like, this is insane. December 13th, all of these 370 strike, 400,000, 1.4 million, 1.1 million, $500,000, we'll just say $550,000. And then you had another one, 1.1 million, December 6th, 375 strike. Like, I don't know who's buying all these. And then there was more, 8.7, 1.2, 7.3 million, all out of the money, 370, 360 strikes for December 13th. Like, either there's a mistake and these are sold calls, or someone with something, someone knows something, or something somewhere, something. This is a pretty unusual amount of massive calls coming in for not that far out, and they're all out of the money. So very, very eyebrow raising to me, which is why, you know, again, because it's December 13th, it doesn't mean it has to pop like tomorrow. It can easily take even another week or two to pop, right? We can easily do this by the end of the month, and there's still going to be printing. So that's why I think, you know, one of two things will happen, or really one of three things will happen. Whether we break this upper trend line first, like maybe even as early as tomorrow, bam, I think we're off to the races. Option two, we compress, get tighter, and then we hopefully break to the upside. I mean, we could break to the downside, but hopefully to the upside. bam, we're off to the races. Or of course, option 3 is we ultimately lose either this bottom trend line, or we essentially lose the slowdown here at around 310, and all those calls that we just saw pretty much just bagged everyone following them, and congratulations, you just lost. So one of those 3 things will happen. In my opinion, the safest thing to do right now and to wait for is going to be a break of this trend line. I think if this trend line breaks, I think Tesla's off to the races. Well, whether that happens tomorrow, whether it takes another week, whether it takes another 2 weeks, all the way back over here until, you know, we have maximum compression all the way towards the end of November. Like, this could unironically compress for the majority of November. Like, we could actually zigzag here up until pretty much the end of November. That is an actual possibility. So watch for that potentially moving forward. But yeah, all that being said and done, that's kind of what I see moving forward. Let me know what you think. See you tomorrow. Peace.